Hey, today's shave is going to be with the Blackland dart. It's got a Nacet in it. This is the Boar brush that we'll be using. It is Whipped Dog 24 millimeter, and I'm going to stick it in my soaking cup to get it wet before the shave. I do not soak the handle. I don't want the water to get up in the knot where the glue is. Even though I only use lukewarm water, that's the way I do it. If you do use warm water, you definitely want to kind of abide by that so the glue ball doesn't expand and contract every time you shave. You don't want that to start loosening up and shedding hairs and things like that. It's not as big of a deal when the knot comes out of the brush. I like to just use normal silicone. You clean up the knot and the thing, so you get a good connection again. But silicone, because a lot of times I'll reuse a handle or something, and so then I like to swap the knots out. And it's easy to do with silicone. If you use epoxy resin, it is much more difficult, nigh impossible. All right. While that brush is soaking, we're going to use, here's the count on the Nacet Blade. This is Austere August, where we're using the same set, even the same blade every day. We're about to use it for the 25th time. And this is the soap we're using for the whole month. To be honest, I've kind of dialed it in a couple of ways. I'm refining it. I kind of wish I had more time with it. I did bloom the soap, as in soak in hot water, right at the beginning of the shave of the video. Looking at a 5-minute soak right now, which is kind of what I was going for. I've showed you the razor. The post shave is all month, Afta fresh, kind of a ladylike scent. I wish I would have chosen the original. It was hard to tell the two scents. Those are some hand gestures right there, right? I was smelling the scents back and forth between the two bottles, and I couldn't figure out which one I liked better. So I just picked fresh. My nose didn't pick it up, but it does now. It's growing on me a little bit, but still. All right, I don't think there's anything else to address, so I'm gonna get my face wet. My water is hard water, and I'm just using whatever comes out of the cold tap, with the exception of the soaking water for the soap. All right, so in the past I've done some different formulations. I've tried loading a long time. John L, I believe is the guy's name. He was a commenter on one of the Shaving with Rich videos about Williams, and he had been using Williams for a very long time and was very pleased with it, and occasionally comes back to it, even though he also uses some of the artisan soaps that are currently available. And so he likes it. And so he noted a generalization of what he does. And so I'm kind of following that generalization. Today we're going to try a 30-second load, which is shorter than any of the previous videos that I've done. I got a feeling it will still be too much lather, but we're stepping down until we hit the right spot. All right. So, number one, soak puck. He says between 5 to 10 minutes. And, we're right in the middle of that zone right now. Step two, pour off, and here's the Williams, pour off the soak water. There's the Williams inside. And I'll take the brush, and I'm going to keep a lot of the water in the brush. I'm not even going to flick it. He flicks his about 3 times very lightly, and that gets some of the water out. But his knot is probably bigger than mine, since it's a badger, and mine's kind of a young boar, and so I'm not going to flick mine. All right, and so now, and that's what kind of water we're going to load with. So let's see. 6 seconds, we'll start at the 0 mark, and we can load here for All right, 30 seconds. This brush has nice a feel to it, nice face feel, nice and soft. It's not all that scrubby, so a scrubbier brush might have shorter load times than this one. Almost there. And there's 30 seconds. So let's just see what that does and what it looks like, because his next step is to then move to the bowl and just start going, and that's all that he. Now look at it in the beginning. Look at that airy lather. That's pretty normal, apparently. All right, now I have also found that it needs more liquid, at least with my brush, and that's, again, he may not need to add some more because his brush knot may be bigger, but I'm going to add a whole 2 teaspoons all at once. Some soaps you can't do that with. You have to add gradually. And then I'm not gonna stir fast, just kind of an average amount. And we want all that soap that's in the brush knot to come out and join up with this water that's on the outside. You will gradually see the soap bubbles diminish, at least I have in the past. And it's been so easy when I've lathered for 45 seconds, a minute. It's so easy to get great lather with this. Even now it looks like I'm going to end up with plenty of lather. I was thinking that the 30 might be too much, but let's just see what happens. That airy bubbly lather, that's not where you want to stop. You need to keep going because you don't want to shave with that. It'll work, but it's not creamy. It's not luxurious feeling. Now already with just, maybe 2 minutes of stirring around, many of those bubbles started to go away. And who knows, I added 2.5 teaspoons of water when I was loading, probably about 45 seconds to a minute. So it's possible I could have added a little too much water to this. And so we'll see. I may have needed to reduce my water more as I reduced my loading time, but from the looks of it, actually, I don't think it will. It's looking right now. It's looking great with elasticity like crazy. Look at that. But it is just a little lighter than I want, so I'm just going to keep stirring and see if there's more soap in this brush that needs to come out. Been stirring for about 3 minutes now, I think. That's not too bad. Look at that big old wall right there. Just lightly. And sometimes I'm not even pressing down to create a splay because this is, so deep that I don't always have to do that. Another action you can do is kind of the push down. It just kind of it just seems natural to me as a way to kind of mix the lather without stirring up and adding bubbles and things like that. Seems to be good for Williams. So if this is too airy, thin, with too much water, obviously I can just remove that, reduce that. But look at this lather. Now, if it's too light and airy, it'll look good on camera, but it won't shave well. Feel it with my fingers and see if I can tell if it's got a little bit of cushion. It's a little bit too thin. So is it too thin because it needs more water and it's just kind of a soap bubbly kind of thing? Or is it too thin because I put in too much water? Well, why don't we just add water and find out. And if I overwater it, maybe what I'll do is pause the video, roll up another lather, and then resume the video. So what I'm going to do, fill my syringe up with 2 teaspoons of water. I'm going to put a half a teaspoon in. Let's just stir and we can see if maybe soap comes together a little bit more. My gut says I probably overwatered it from the beginning, but who knows? Sometimes William is a little mysterious because it doesn't start out thick like a lot of soaps. And so then with soaps that start out thick, it's a piece of cake because you can just wait until they thin down to where they need to be. But not William's. On the other hand, if 30 seconds of lathering, of loading in a pre-soaked puck with hot water really brings in the soap into the brush, then maybe we're fine, and maybe we're on a good track here to keep adding water until it creams up even more. Look at that. Still pretty thin. Let's add one more half teaspoon. We'll see what happens. So then what would I do? 30 seconds of loading and then maybe 1.5 teaspoons of water. You know, try that. Of course, first, before I pitch this lather, I'll put it on my face and see. I mean, it looks amazing in the bowl, but I've been through this before. It can look that great and just be too thin. All right, let's just try to put some on my face and see what happens. Finger feel, oh, I can easily feel my fingerprints. However, it's got a little bit of cushion to it. But it rinses real easy off my hands. So I think it's going to be too thin. Let's do a little test lather and see. 24 hours worth of beard growth. Now sometimes what you can do is just take your time with the lather application here. As a little bit of the water evaporates, it thickens up the soap. Even out the lather now. Try that. See how much glide it has. Pretty good. A little bit of drag there. Yeah, so this, I think I overwatered it. As soon as I dumped the whole 2 teaspoons in there, I thought, hey, maybe this is a bad idea. All right, so it's 1 pass down, but it was too thin. So like I said, I'm gonna redo that lather just to see. So we've got our Williams here. It should be pretty moist, pretty soaked. So I'm gonna soak that again. Let me get the hot water going. And so I will load for 30 seconds, and then I will only use, let's try half of the syringe, which is 1 teaspoon of water instead of 2 like I used. And then I'll whip that up. You don't have to watch me do that. In the same fashion as I did the first lather. I'll whip that up and then I'll tune you back in. All right, it's been about 5 minutes that we've allowed the soak on the soap to happen, and the brush has been soaking as well, so it should be fine. So let's just pour off the froth. And we'll take our soaking brush, we'll let it quit dripping. And then we'll do a 30-second load, and there we go. So until the 2-minute mark on this particular segment of the video, you won't be able to notice it because I'm going to join some pieces together. Be some other time value on yours, but it'll be 30 seconds. And 5 more seconds. And that is a 30-second load. If anything matches, if it matches what I've seen so far, that is plenty of soap. So then, take my bowl, start laying down the suds here. Some will be very bubbly, but that's okay, that will improve. And I'm going to pull in and load my syringe to a full 2 teaspoons. And I'm just going to go ahead and add a 1/4 teaspoon. Sorry, 1/2 teaspoon for now. We'll test it in a minute. Let's do a little finger test. And that has almost no cushion. It's still airy. Big old blob. Oh, sorry. I actually meant to throw this together without being on camera, so you wouldn't have to watch it again. Let me pause you. Alright, so I've got a relatively good looking lather here. Did the finger test on it, and it does have a little bit more cushion than that first one I did. Still have tons of lather here. So let's just put it on my face and see how it goes. Next time I may just try one for the 30-second load, 1 teaspoon, half teaspoon, because this is just one, maybe even none, with a 30-second load, no extra water at the end. Get my face wet. And remember, I've already done one pass with that lesser lather, so let's see what kind of lather this one is. Oh, this feels better. Of course, it could be there's no hairs on my face to kind of bother with it. Let's try that out. A little bit more glide than the first pass. you know, pretty good amount better. Got some tricky hairs down here that seem to only respond to strokes from the bottom up on pass number 2 and 3. Felt maybe a little bit of irritation right there because I didn't use my normal approach from the outside coming in. It's a much safer approach. I'm going to rinse this off. Tell you one thing about this puck of soap. It's 25 uses. No, the blade, 25 uses. This soap has had, it's the 23rd use of it. So just 7 more uses, and I've got a ton of soap left. So for me at least, the Williams puck might just go a month and a half. I was told initially it would go about a month. A little too much water, I guess. Back it off next time. If I wanted to just sit here and paint my face like crazy, eventually that water would kind of evaporate out and soap would get thicker. All right. Sleepy. With the dart, it's an aggressive razor. So I discovered, this is comfortable by the way. Very smooth, plenty of glide. But I discovered that if you haven't seen any of my other dart videos, very key for people who have skin and hair type like me to bring the handle end closer to your face. Close that angle a little bit during the second and third passes, and then that will turn it into a less, at least for my skin, turns it into a less aggressive razor. And it makes it an enjoyable, controllable shave, and I get some of the best, closest shaves I get using that technique. If I kept it at the standard 30-35 degrees, it would, I was dreading finishing the third pass if I did that. All right. Face feels comfortable. I'm gonna rinse it off. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. The result right here, I don't even feel like I need to do a fourth pass, a neck only pass. That's pretty sweet with a blade that's on its 25th use. Pretty cool. So that load, now granted this is this is a new bowl, new load, and I have only done 2 passes with it, and so rightfully so, maybe this much might be removed, and that's still plenty of lather. Now probably could have spun on it for a longer time and gotten it to integrate more and stuff, but I didn't feel the need. It still gave me a great shave. My result is way above average. Look at all that elasticity there. So, yeah, next time I won't add quite as much water. We'll see what happens. I mean, this looks like maybe I could get away with a 10-second load or a 20-second load, but I need to step it down carefully. Don't change too many variables at once, because then you don't know what to go back to. So, I mean, that's a wonderful... See how that feels? That's good. Great. A little bit of cushion. And the brush felt different. I already told you that, and I think that's because I was starting brushing on a skin that had already been shaved once, so of course it's going to feel smoother. Can't pause the camera with all this. All right, I'm going to do some cleanup and I'll be back with you. Now time for the post-shave. That's about how much I use. Probably get some stinging down here. Felt a little bit of a nick, or, you know, it didn't bleed or anything, but, you know, a little bit of a cut that was too far into the skin than usual, but it should be. Not getting any stinging though. Especially right there, but actually I'm not getting it anywhere. This does have alcohol in it, so it, well, good technique. Turns out this time. Happy about that. If you don't get the sting, then if you put on alcohol and you don't get a sting, it means you got good technique, as long as you also end up at the same time with a nice close shave. So how about that? 25 times now with this Gillette Nacet. And some of the guys that have taken these blades for really long rides, like 100 uses, they're not saying it's a particular blade. They're saying a lot of blades will go a lot farther than you think. They were saying that as long as your technique is good, then most blades will give you about 60 uses, and some will go farther than that. Pretty cool. I'm already pretty cleaned up. Face feels great. A happy camper. A good shave. In terms of the lather, since I did run it a little thick both times, I think I'll look forward to trying that again. Getting something a little bit more dense. So maybe next time, you know what? Next time maybe I won't even add any water from the syringe. Just leave all that water in the brush with the 30-second load. See what happens. All right, we're good. Only 7, 8 more shaves in August. To be honest, I don't know. The blade's obviously gonna go the distance. Soap is gonna go the distance. I almost feel like I want to accomplish some things with Williams, and I don't know if that many uses is going to get me where I want to go. So who knows? Maybe I'll keep going after August with Williams until I get something down that I really feel good about. All right. Well, there we go. Take care. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. I hope there was something here that's good for you. Take care. Good night.